Hey guys, so we're going to talk real quick about solving rational equations. So there's kind of two methods that you can do. You can do proportions, condense into both sides being one proportion, then cross multiply to solve. We got method 2 using the least common denominator. So figure out what that is and then multiply both sides by it. So we're going to do a couple of those ways today. Okay. So here we go. On example 1, notice I have a ratio equals a ratio. So the easiest thing to do here is to cross multiply. So 7 times x is 7x. 4 times x minus 6, well, we have to distribute that. So we're going to have 4x minus 24. Subtract the 4x from both sides. So 7x minus 4x is a 3x, equals in negative 24, divide by 3. So x equals a negative 8. Okay. So notice that you can go and check. So 7 over negative 8 minus 6 changes to 7 over negative 14, which changes to a negative 1/2. Which equals 4 over negative 1/8, which reduces to the negative 1/2. So it's right. So there's your answer. So you are more than welcome to check your answers. Okay. Okay, notice example 2, we have a fraction equals a fraction, a ratio equals a ratio. So again, we're going to do the same exact thing. We are going to cross multiply. R times R is R squared. 4 times r minus 1, we're going to distribute, so we get 4r minus 4. Notice we have an r squared, so that means everything's got to go on its side. Okay, so everything to the left, so we got to subtract the 4r, add the 4. So we got to factor that. What times what gives us a positive 4? That gives us, when added together, a negative 4. So that's going to be r minus 2. R minus 2, and when you set that equal to 0, you get a 2. Okay. Okay, example 3. So notice again, we can still cross multiply on this one. We got a fraction equals a fraction. So y times y plus 5 changes to y squared plus 5y equals 3 times y plus 8 gives you 3y plus 24. So again, we have a y squared. Everything's got to be over with it. So we're going to subtract our 3y. Put that right underneath that one. Subtract the 24. Move it way over here. So those are gone. We get our equals 0. So we have y squared. 5y minus 3y is a 2y. Minus our 24. So what times what gives us a 24 and then adds to give us a 2. Hopefully you said 6 and a negative 4. So y plus 6 equals 0. Y equals negative 6 for this one. Y minus 4 equals 0. So y equals 4. And if you were to check both of these, they actually both work. Okay, so please don't assume that they both work because that's not true, especially when you're factoring. Sometimes things will not work. Okay. Okay, example 4. So this is one where we do not have a fraction equals a fraction. So this is where you want to multiply by the least common denominator. So look at the bottom. What would be the common denominator? So think about it. Between a 3 and a 6, what number would it be? 3. Can 3 go into 6? And hopefully your answer was yes. So you would need a 6. And then notice we have an n, so we would need a n. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply all of this by 6n. Okay? So for this one, I'm going to write it out a little bit more. 4n will get, or 4 over 3 will get multiplied by 6n, minus 7 over n will also get multiplied, and then our 1/6 will also get multiplied by 6n. So everything gets multiplied. So 3 goes into 6 twice. So this is 8n minus n's cancel. That's a 42 equals 6 cancel. And notice we made it have no fractions now. So yay. So I'm going to subtract that 8n. So negative 42 equals 1 minus 8. So that will be a negative 7n. Divide by the negative 7, which gives us a 6. And if you were to check that, it works. Okay. So let's look at example 5. So example 5, again, we have to find the least common denominator, but here's the thing. This right here needs to be factored. So they both have a 3 in common. So we take that out, we're left with w minus 1. So remember, we got to make sure we have one of everything. So we know we're going to have to w minus 1 for sure, but let's see. We got a 3 and a 9. Can 3 go into 9? The answer was yes on that. So that means we need to multiply by 9w minus 1. So if I might just go ahead and write it. Let's see. 13w or 3w minus 1 times 9w minus 1 minus 1 over w minus 1 times 9 over w minus 1 equals w over 9 times 9w minus 1. Okay, so w minus 1's cancel. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 13 times 3 is a 39 minus w minus 1's cancel. So 1 times 9's 9 equals 9's cancel. So it looks like we're going to have to distribute this. W times w is a w squared. W times the negative 1 is a negative w. So this will equal a 30. And we got a w squared situation going on. So we're going to subtract 30 to the other side, because we got to make sure our w squared stays positive. So what times what gives you 30 and adds to give you negative 1? Hopefully you said negative 6 and positive 5, which means w minus 6 equals 0. So w is 6. W plus 5 equals 0. So w equals negative 5. Again, I hope you are checking these, but both of these are right. Okay. We'll go to example 6. Now you guys try any of these if you want to try them before I go over them. Okay. Okay, so again, we have a situation. We got some GCF going on here, so we got to take a C out. We're left with C minus 4. And we need to come up with, I'm going to use green since these are kind of close, and we're going to come up with the common denominator. So let's see, we definitely got to have a C minus 4, and it looks like we're going to have an extra C. Okay, so I think on this one I'm going to try not, well, I'll just go ahead and write it out. So 3C minus 2, and then this is C minus 4 times C minus 4 equals C over C minus 4 times C minus 4 minus 1 times C minus 4. Whew, that was a lot on that one. Okay, so let's look. These cancel. So we're left with 3C minus 2 equals, these cancel, we're left with C squared minus, so 1 doesn't matter, so that looks like this changes to C squared minus 4C, but notice this negative's got to go to all of that. So that means we're going to have minus C squared and then plus 4C. Yay, so on this one, these are going to cancel. So we're just going to have 3c minus 2 equals 4c. Subtract that 3c, so negative 2 equals c. And hopefully you check that and you will see that it will work. Okay? Okay, we got one more. And like I said, if you want to try it, just pause it. Okay? So let's see what we got going on. Looks like we got a little factor situation again. Okay? So this is a difference of squares. P minus 2, P plus 2. Okay? And so notice we have to have one of everything. So that means we're going to be multiplying by P minus 2 and P plus 2. So let's look and see. So we got P minus 2 times P minus 2 times P plus 2. Plus 2 times, now notice nothing's going to cancel on this one. So I could write all of this right here, but I'm going to write the shorter version of it right here. Okay, equals, and then notice we have 8 times the p squared minus 4. And again, I'm going to use the p squared minus 4 here because that is what that means. Okay, so p minus 2's cancel, so when we distribute, we get p squared plus 2p plus 2 times p squared is 2p squared minus 8 equals, these cancel, so we get an 8. So we got a p squared situation, so p squared in 2p squared is 3p squared plus 2p. Now notice our problem doesn't equal 0, so I'm going to subtract that over, which gives us a negative 16. So on this one, which type of factoring we're going to do? Well, as you can see, we don't have a GCF, so we're going to have to do some guessing and checking. So 3p times p gives us 3p squared. And then what times what gives us 16? So let's see. We got 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. Okay, but remember, we have to multiply these together and have a difference of 2. So let's try 8 and 2. So let's put a plus 8 here and a minus 2 here. Notice this gives me a negative 6p. This gives me an 8p. And notice that if I put those together, I get my 2p. Okay? So we're going to have 3p plus 8 equals 0. So we're going to subtract 8 and divide by 3. So we get p equals negative 8 over 3. And the other one is p minus 2 equals 0, so p equals 2. Now, again, this is a friendly reminder. Please, please, please check your answers. Because if you do, you will know that this one actually does not work. Your answer is negative 8 over 3. Okay? Hopefully this helps you guys. Hopefully I didn't go too fast, but if you need any questions or anything, just let me know.